Good morning to all of you. Now, again, we are here with our lecture number 2 on the topic force and laws of motion. Topics to be covered in this section are as follows: Newton's second law of motion, explanation of second law of motion with example, application of second laws of motion, quantitative definition of force and its mathematical form, concept of momentum, principle of conservation of momentum, concept of system, mathematical formulation of conservation of momentum, and application of conservation of momentum. First, Newton's second law of motion. What is its statement? Newton's second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force, and the change in the momentum takes place along the direction in which the force acts. Now, the mathematical form of Newton's second law of motion is as follows, where you can see that rate of change of momentum, that is change in momentum with respect to time, that is called the rate of change of momentum, is directly proportional to the applied force, and the change in the momentum takes place along the direction in which the force acts. Now, what is this rate of change of momentum actually means? Now, change in momentum with respect to time. Now, change in momentum equals to final momentum minus initial momentum. Final momentum is mass into final velocity and mass into initial velocity. So the difference of final and initial momentum will give you the change in the momentum, and the time is t. Now it is actually directly proportional to, now v minus u by t is acceleration a. So we have rate of change of momentum proportional to m into a. Again, we got the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force. If F is the force applied to the system, then F varies as proportional to m into a, or F equals to kma. We will talk about this section later on. Now, explanation of Newton's second law of motion with example. Riding your bicycle is a good example of this law of motion at work. Your bicycle is the mass. Your leg muscles pushing on the pedals of your bicycle is the force. That is, you are applying force by pushing the pedals of the bicycle by your leg muscles. When you push on the pedals, your bicycle accelerates. That is, it gains acceleration. Its velocity changes. You are increasing the speed of the bicycle by applying force to the pedals. Again, Newton's second law also says that the greater of mass of an object being accelerated, greater amount of force needed to accelerate the body. If the mass of an object is more, then you have to apply much more force to accelerate it. Say you have two identical bicycles that have a basket. Each have a basket. One bicycle has an empty basket. Another bicycle has a basket full of bricks. If you try to ride each bicycle and you push on the pedals with the exact same strength, you will be able to accelerate the bike or the bicycle with the empty basket more than the bicycle with the basket full of bricks. The bricks add mass to the second bicycle with the bricks in the basket. Now you will get a pictorial view of Newton's second law of motion. Now, second law of motion means the greater the force, the greater the acceleration. The greater the mass, the greater is force needed for the same acceleration. For same acceleration, greater force is required for a body with more mass. Calculation of F force equals to m into a, where F equals to force, m equals to mass, a is the acceleration. Now, application of Newton's second law of motion. A fielder pulls his hand backward while catching a cricket ball coming with a great speed. Actually, while catching a cricket ball, the momentum of the ball is reduced to zero. That is, you are reducing the momentum of the body. If the ball is stopped suddenly, its momentum will be reduced to zero instantly, causing the instant rate of change in momentum, due to which the ball will exert great force on the hands of the player, due to which the player's hand may get injured. Therefore, by pulling the hand backward, a fielder gives more time to the change of momentum to become zero. This prevents the hands of the fielder from getting hurt. That is, whenever you are catching a cricket ball, you have to lower your hand down along in the direction of the ball for a few times. For athletes of long and high jump, sandbed or cushion bed is provided at the place of landing. Why? This is because when the athlete falls on the ground after performing a high or a long jump, the momentum of his body is reduced to zero. If the momentum of the athlete will be reduced to zero instantly, it will result in the production of a large force which may hurt the player. Whereas by providing a cushion bed, the momentum of the player's body is reduced to zero in a delayed period, due to which less force acts on his body, hence preventing the athlete from getting hurt. Similarly, seat belts in a car are provided to prevent the passenger from getting thrown in the direction of motion. In case of sudden brake or any accident, passengers may get thrown in the direction of the motion of the vehicle and may get fatal injuries. Whereas the stretchable seat belts prevent the passenger's body to fall from suddenly and thus increase the time of the rate of momentum to become zero. This will reduce the effective force, hence preventing the passenger from getting any fatal injury. Now the quantitative definition of force and its mathematical form. According to this law, that is Newton's second law of motion, force can be defined as the product of the mass of the body and its acceleration. The mathematical expression of force is given as rate of change in momentum is actually equal to mv minus u by t, or ma, and thus from Newton's second law of motion we get force is proportional to ma, or F is equals to kma. For 1 unit of force on 1 kg of mass with an acceleration of 1 meter per second square, the value of k is 1. Therefore, F equals to ma. The SI unit of force is Newton, and since force equals to mass into acceleration, the unit of mass is kg, unit of acceleration is meter per second square. If force, mass and acceleration is taken as unity, therefore 1 Newton is equals to 1 kg into 1 meter per second square. Thus Newton equals to kg meter per second square. Thus 1 unit of force is defined as the amount that produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in an object of 1 kg. This is the definition of 1 Newton. Now, concept of momentum. Impacts produced by objects depends on their mass and velocity. The momentum of an object is defined as the product of its mass and velocity. That is P equals to Vm into V. It is a vector quantity and has direction and magnitude. Now, principle of conservation of momentum. The total momentum of an isolated system is conserved. An isolated system is equals to net external force on the system is zero. Now, what do you mean by actually isolated system? I have stated that the total momentum of an isolated system is conserved. Now, what do you mean by an isolated system? Isolated system is such a system where the net external force is zero. Now, what is a system? You may ask me, what is a system? So, the part of the universe chosen for analysis is called a system. Remember that. Part of the universe chosen for analysis is called a system. Everything outside the system is called environment. So the part which is chosen for analysis is the system. Everything outside that part is known as environment. Now, for your concept to be cleared, I have given an example. A car moving with a constant velocity can be considered as a system. A car moving with a constant velocity, that means it is going with a constant velocity, it can be considered as a system. All the forces within the car are the internal forces, and all forces acting on the car from the environment are external forces, and they are like the friction between the rubber of the tire and the road surface. Okay, the air resistance and the body of the car, all these are external forces. The mathematical formulation of conservation of momentum. Now let us suppose two objects A and B of mass m1 and m2. They are moving initially with velocity u1 and u2. They strike after time t with each other. This is the collision moment, and start moving velocities v1 and v2 respectively. That means m1 after collision attains a velocity of v1, m2 after collision attains a velocity of v2. Now momentum equals to mass into velocity. Therefore initial momentum of object A, this is the object A, is m1u1. You can see here m1u1. Initial momentum of B is m2u2. Final momentum of object A is m1v1. Final momentum of object B is m2v2. Now rate of change of momentum equals to change in momentum by time taken. That is, force on AB is m1v1 minus m1u1 by t is equals to this. Also rate of change of momentum is B is this, m2 v2 minus u2 by t. But from Newton's third law of motion, Newton's third law, now what is Newton's third law of motion? It says that to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. If A applies a force FAB on B in collision, while on collision, then B will apply exactly the same force on A but in different direction. So if the force on B due to A is FAB and force on B due to A is FBA, then FAB is equals to minus of FBA. So we can write this equation like this, and after solving the equation we get m1v1 plus m2v2 equals to m1u1 plus m2v2. That is the total momentum after collision is equals to total momentum of the system before collision. Total initial momentum equals to total final momentum. This is the mathematical formulation of conservation of momentum. Now application of conservation of momentum. Basically two applications I am upholding here, but there are many more. First of all, propelling of rockets. The chemicals inside the rocket burn and produce the high velocity blast of hot gases. These gases are ejected downwards with a great velocity. To conserve the total momentum of gases, the rocket moves up with a large velocity. That means in the combustion chamber of the rocket, the gases burns producing a larger energy, which just the gas ejects downward, and to maintain the principle of conservation of energy, the rocket moves with a high velocity. Similar way of the jet planes. Thank you for now. We will have our third lecture on force and laws of motion, and in that chapter, in that topic, in that lecture, we are going to explain about Newton's third law of motion and inertial and non-inertial frame of reference. Thank you very much.